Veronica, and welcome to this 2-week weight restorative class. For this practice, you're going to need a blanket, a cushion, a bolster, maybe a couple of blocks. But if you don't have these props in the house, just make sure you grab a few pillows, maybe a few blankets to support yourself in the postures. So we're gonna start with a blanket. And I'd like you to open it up and then fold it so that you're creating a little bit of a longer sort of pillow roll. And then as you come and lie onto your back, make sure this is just underneath your shoulder blades. And then you can wrap it alongside your body and release your arms down alongside the body. So just making sure that your chest is nice and open, your arms are long, the palms facing up, and you can allow your feet to relax. You can take here a long breath, inhale, and a big long exhale through the mouth. And just allowing your body to ground, to feel supported. A 2-week wait can be quite a stressful period. So with this practice, we are allowing the mind and the body to be calm. So just start here to notice, as you close the eyes, just start to scan the body, just to notice any area of tension. Scanning the body through your feet, up through the legs, your hips, belly, your chest, shoulders, down through the arms, hands and fingers, neck and face, from the jaw through the mouth, your cheeks, your forehead, your eyes and eyebrows. As you scan the body, noticing if you can let go a little bit more of any holding, any tension, any contraction, just melting a little deeper onto the floor. We're allowing here a gentle heart opener. As we let the heart communicate with the womb. Inviting breath and spaciousness into your heart space. And stimulating that Baomai, it's a meridian that's running from the womb to the heart. That allows communication between these two areas. And when these two areas communicate, we also feel more connected to ourselves, more calm, grounded. You can visualize with each inhale breath a bright light expanding into your womb space and rising along the center line meridian up to your heart. With the exhales from the heart, lowering down back to the womb. Expanding brighter into the womb. Inhaling, rising up to the heart. And with the exhales from heart down all the way back to the womb. Inhaling, shining brighter into the womb, rising all the way up to the heart. Exhale from the heart down to the womb. Continuing with the visualization, with keeping these long, calm, slow breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. As you continue with your long, slow breaths, your visualization, just notice if you are maybe starting to tense up again, maybe your toes or fingers or jaw. Bringing your awareness there, letting them melt a little more, softening, allowing the earth to support you. Slowly starting to let go of that visualization, maybe allowing that bright light to descend all the way to the womb, staying there, holding that bright light into your womb. Taking a few more deep, conscious breaths. As you start to bring the awareness back to the body, bringing a little movement to your toes, to your fingers. And grounding the feet onto the floor. Taking a moment here just with the knees together and the feet wide. Feeling the sacrum heavy. And starting to roll over onto your right side. And pause on your right. Take a moment there. And when you're ready, push the floor away and start to rise slowly up. Give yourself a moment, a long breath in. Big exhale before we transition into the next posture, which will be a supported child's pose. So if you have a bolster, you can grab your bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you're also very welcome to use a pillow or a few pillows stacked one over the other. Place it in front of you. Bring your knees wide, feet together. You can also, for comfort, use that same blanket, also in that same shape, and place it behind the knees, especially if you have sensitive knees. All right, as you're ready, inhale in here. As you exhale, coming down to position, letting the belly be supported, and just bringing one cheek down onto the bolster. I'm going to tell you in a few minutes to switch cheek, so you'll face on the other side, so we have even effect for the neck. Allow your hips to sink heavy onto the heels. And keep enough space between your thighs so the belly can relax. So making sure you don't have any pressure on the belly. Allow your arms to soften. And you can close your eyes, softening the space between your eyebrows. Softening the jaw, little space between your teeth. Any tension, leaving the body, the shoulders, the neck, the arms. Take your last 2 breaths on this side. And then you can start to turn your head in the opposite direction. So the opposite cheek is down. Again, letting go of any resistance here. And if for any reason you are uncomfortable in this posture or any other postures following from now on, feel always free to come out sooner. And if you're coming out sooner, you can just come and lie on your back. Stay for a few more breaths, deep, spacious breaths into your back, lower back, upper back. Last two long breaths in, long breaths out. And slowly inhale at the bottom. And as you exhale, start to rise all the way up. Give yourself time at the top. Don't move too fast. Take a moment to feel. And start to open your eyes. And you can move your legs over to the side and face the long edge of your mat. We're gonna open the legs wide. Don't feel like you have to go super wide. It needs to be comfy. So even if it's a little less than your limit, feel free to stay in a way that doesn't feel too straining for your inner thighs. We're going to use a support to fold onto. If one pillow is too little, you can stack an extra pillow either on top or below. You can use blankets, making sure that your head is supported. So even if your chest is not, place the props a little further and the head will be supported. Yeah, if you feel your knees are bending here, you can stack a couple of blankets under the knees. So in restorative, we always want every posture to be supported and comfortable. So grab anything you may need, adjust, and then only once you found the right way that works for you, get into the pose. Yeah, relax your legs, relax your feet. Take a long inhale at the top, and when you're ready, folding in. You can either bring the forehead down or one cheek. And just remember, if you're bringing one cheek, you'll need to switch after a few minutes. But if you have space to breathe, just bring the forehead down, then even better. Make sure your low back is warm. If you like, you can add a blanket there. So we're not looking for really strong sensation, but rather to feel really supported and comfy in a bubble of sweetness and gentleness for yourself. So if you feel any tensing up or that you're striving and pushing to reach the position, that's not the approach that we want. You want to feel supported, comfy, and like in a warm cuddle. If you like, you can go back to your visualization. The bright light, maybe this time, visualizing it into the back body. From the lower back, from the kidney area, rising to the back of the heart. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, descending from the heart to the low back.
I'll stay here for 1 more minute, but if you feel like coming out a little sooner, you're very welcome to. And if you do that, just come and lie on your back. Take your last 2 deep breaths. Inhale at the bottom. And with your exhale, very, very slowly, start to rise. Again, without getting dizzy, take your time. A long breath at the top. Long sigh out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. We're going into a reclined butterfly, so you will need your bolster behind you this time. Bring your legs together. Give a little massage to the back of the knees if you need. And then grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use 2 thick books or a couple of folded blankets. You can use your blanket for comfort and warmth to place it onto your belly. I would also recommend to recline that bolster. So if you have an additional pillow to place underneath the top of the bolster, that's really nice. Right, come and sit in front of your bolster. You can flatten a little bit there where it touches the sacrum, so it's a little more comfy. Bring your feet together, let your knees open wide, and you can support your knees with your blocks. If you want to skip them out, you can also remove them, but this is a bit nicer for restorative as you feel more supported, as we are avoiding to feel strong sensations. Belly's there to keep you warm. Give yourself a little wiggle. And just you can allow the hands to connect to your womb space, if that feels good. Or you can let your arms release by the sides. Whatever is comfortable for you in your body and energetically today. Feel the knees supported. Make the last little adjustment here to make sure that you can completely relax in the posture. Again, here we find that very gentle heart opener. You can bring back, if you like, the visualization, that connection, that communication from the heart to the womb through a bright light rising and falling. Notice if you're holding tension in the hips. Let the blocks, let the support grab your knees. Let go of any tension in the inner thighs and the hips. Let each exhale bring a little more spaciousness, a little more surrender in the body. Feel the breath flowing into the belly, the gentle rising and falling of the belly, the gentle expansion and contraction. Take here your last few breaths. Maybe letting a big sigh through the mouth, letting go. And gently, you can start to reach the hands to the knees. Bring the knees together. Give yourself some time here just to feel the contact with the floor underneath your feet. And when you're ready, find the way over to your side. You can pause there on your side, giving yourself a hug. And we're going to stay low on the back. So from here, you can just press the floor away to move your props, where they're reachable. So you will need your bolster or a pillow for the next posture. And then come back and lie down onto the ground. You can keep your blanket, of course, for comfort and warmth. As you bend your knees here, feel your feet onto the mat. And when you're ready, as you inhale, push the floor away. We're going to lift the hips and slide the bolster underneath your hips, underneath your sacrum. So you feel a nice sense of support there. You can allow your belly to relax. Feet are not gripping into the mat. Let your feet soften. You can let your hands again rest on your belly, or if you prefer, arms open wide. And closing the eyes. Also inviting that upward flow of energy here. While in the menstrual cycle phase, we are focusing on downward flow. Now in this luteal phase, in the 2-week wait, we are supporting the upward flow of energy. So just elevating the hips can be beneficial here. Allow the legs to relax, shoulders heavy. Again, letting go of any tension, any holding or gripping. If here you feel like extending your legs, if that feels comfy for you or almost needed and pleasant, you can allow the legs to go long. If that feels too much sensation, just stay with the knees bent and allow the hips, pelvis to be supported. If your legs are long, start to bring the knees back, bending the legs, bringing the feet back on the floor, but we'll stay for the last couple of minutes. Now taking the last few breaths. Now, as the next posture, we're going to elevate the legs. So if you have a wall next to you, you might want to first come out of the pose. So as you lift the hips, inhale, remove the pillow, and come back down. I'm going to demonstrate this posture here without a wall. So I'm keeping the bolster here, and you can do the same if you don't have a wall or if you just prefer to elevate the legs this way. If you feel that once the legs are up, there's too much tension in the belly, so we don't want abdominal work. So if that's your sensation, then rather go next to a wall or skip this pose completely if you don't have a wall. So when you're ready, with your inhale, start to lift your legs up. Yeah, if you're next to a wall, make sure your hip is next to the wall and you turn yourself around so that the legs are supported. The more you elevate the hips, the more will be easy to keep the legs up and relax the belly. You can let the knees gently bend. See, I'm not straightening the legs or reaching actively, just allowing the knees to bend. Softening the shoulders. Again, your hands can connect to your belly, to your womb space, or you can let your arms release to the sides. Just make sure wherever you are that you're comfortable, there's no effort, you're supported, you're elevated. And yeah, you're just not putting too much effort in this pose. Again, we're supporting that upward flow of energy. And we're also inviting the blood to flow down to our womb, to our digestive organs, to our heart, promoting relaxation, getting out of that fight or flight mode and into the rest and digest. allowing any thought to just flow past. If you notice your mind wandering, just noticing, observing your thoughts coming and going. If you are in the middle of the room, maybe without the wall, if at any time it gets a little heavy to hold the legs up, you're welcome to bring the knees to the chest or come down a little earlier from the pose. We stay a few more minutes otherwise. Take your last 2 long breaths. If you're next to a wall, draw the knees to the chest, roll to one side. If you're in the middle of the room, you can bend your knees, ground through your feet. Lift the hips to remove the pillow. And let your legs extend long for a moment, just to feel that rush of blood flowing back to your feet, to your legs. Breathing deeply here, melting. Or maybe a bit of tingling, cool sensation into the feet. And as next posture, we're going into a happy baby. So if you like, you can use your blanket as we did before, just folding it a few times to place under the sacrum so that you might feel a little more supported here as you reach your hands to your feet. If your hands don't reach your feet, you can grab your ankles. You can even bring the hands behind the knees. Allow the shoulders to relax. If you feel your head is coming off the floor, you can also stack a blanket under your head. We won't stay as long as in the other postures, but if it's already feeling a little much, you can always bring the hands lower or just bring the knees into the chest. We'll just stay a couple more minutes. Right, take your last few breaths. Long in through the nose, maybe a big sigh. And then start to bring the knees together first. You can give them a little hug, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. And we're going from here into Shavasana. So you can remove that blanket. If you like, you can cover your whole body with the blanket or maybe just the belly. And you can also use your bolster to support the back of the knees, if that makes it more comfy for you. And you can even add a blanket under your head if you like. And when you're ready, coming down to lie in Shavasana, releasing the arms alongside your body, your final relaxation, your final surrender here. Taking a long inhale breath and a big sigh to melt and let go. Scanning the body. And as you scan the body, relaxing, releasing tension from every area, from the toes, through your feet, your legs, your glutes, your hips, your belly, chest, your whole back body, lower back, middle back, upper back, your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Relaxing the neck, the jaw, the mouth, your cheeks, your nose, your eyes, eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, and your forehead. Just softening, surrendering fully to the earth. With your next inhale, Start to bring your awareness back and to wiggle your fingers and toes. Like any movement that feels good. Or maybe a stretch. And start to bend your knees and roll over onto your side. Take a moment on the side for a few breaths into your back. And when you're ready, you can push the floor away and rise up into your seat. And as you find your seat, bring the hands on the heart. Take a moment to honor yourself for showing up today. In gratitude for your body, your breath, and this practice. We take together a last long inhale breath through the nose. Big exhale, clearing out through the mouth. Namaste.